Chapter 8. I walked towards the forest nearby. It purported me to cut frustration at times. Monkeys were teasing me. I thought the birds were chirping. I sat there for some time to control my breath. My commute realized speed in between. I shouted as loud as possible so as to ease the tension. Standing upon the crescendo of the hill, I said, "God help me." I heard the same echo, but with a different tone. God help me. After getting the same echoes several times, I cast a doubt. Through meadows and bushes, I went downhill towards the voice. Finally, I tracked the voice's whereabouts. Behind the dome of bushes, I saw a groupeless girl in an up towards situation, entangled with branches, having her last breath. I removed the bushes, branches, and leaves slowly. The rescued lass was so pretty that I fell in love at first sight, though she was in a mitigating circumstance. I felt my soul kissing hers. I sensed as if we already knew each other. Her lips and cheek glanced with blood and their curly, thick, and long hair reflecting silk. No sooner had I circumvented her out of the bushes than she became unconscious. First I carried her to the cumbersome take up to the hilltop, expunged dust and dirt, then fetched some water in a rubber leaf and sprinkled it over her face, which elucidated her beauty. Such a beautiful girl, an immutable fact I had only seen on screens. She came in life and went directly into my heart without even asking me. What happened to me in my heart? Why did everything stop coming to me? Why was I simply waiting for her to get up? Why was I afraid that I might lose her as soon as she woke up? With all my strength and conclusion about my immediate responsibility, I took her to the hospital. I had to do it with great effort, without even having a nap, casting aside all quotidian concerns. I looked after her with the most assiduous care. There were some inherent police officers who requested me to wait till she regained her consciousness. She is a great, generous social worker, Sangrita, and she has been fighting with Alercy audaciously against girl trafficking, said the officer. Caritas and lover was tamed in my thought. I was that. With the help of her relatives, I managed to fetch some food for her. She shunned it outright, though. Although she was a little sensuous, she didn't even touch the food. I encouraged her to go for the food. Each bit of food deserves substances. Each holds its own verb. To confer us life, it comes to us through many means, such as air, water, land, sun, and joyous fills. Hope you understand what I mean. It is abrupt to abuse it. This flying is not. Several people were on their last legs. Spare food to save them. Food turned her good by and by. She was able to communicate with the police officers after about 3 days. It was all remarkable. Firstly of all, she opened her arm and called me, though she was not that able to move from her bed. On my approach, she hugged me and thanked me for saving her life, she said. I was left alone to die, with no one to meet, nothing to eat. My suffering was out of control. My tears differed not from rain, though extreme pains I went on. Several deaths I encountered. Then you come in there, from the darkness, you took me to the light, and from hatred to love. All of the senses except love stopped working. Her parents hugged her with happy tears in their eyes. I was expecting some compliments from her parents, but they didn't even look at me. They couldn't behold me beyond my clothes. Then the officers begged pardon in order to continue their investigation. We want to know everything about the incident, so please excuse us for some time. Then she reported to the officers how she was thrown there to die. I went into town to rescue a girl from the village. A report had been dispatched from one of the informers. My intention was not only to rescue the girl, but to also uproot and destroy the whole racket. It was all beyond my imagination, since the racket was backed up by some of our corrupt politicians. After many days leaving no corner unturned in searching her, I brought her back. The officer asked her, "Madam, what was she doing there?" She was a refugee girl. She further said, "I didn't go for identity, only I go for humanitarian aid. My only intention was to get her to live. She used to please others there, though. To be all set anyhow was her occupation, even in misery." They heaped on her further soreness. No way to go back, no way to get back, a lot it bothered. Her job meant for her existence to practice pleasure she never wanted. She longed the nature to appreciate her beauty. Her much loved left her, with whom only she liked to dance. Sleeping work looks attractive only by its envelope. At the end, an affliction it leads. Before the suffering of her soul begins, a good man should keep her at heart. As the heart wise, she is the Ganga. Else, she may wish to meet him. The heart is always divine, impure is the mind which handles it. A plot is not a knave as an aircraft. To be awful, the heart has no role of the kind. Inside our heart there are millions of hearts. Some are pity, peace, and mercy, and God dwells there. To get the patterns of inner peace in such a quiet art. Others are disintegrations of these figs. The demon rules in it. It was almost out of question to restore her previous equivocal life. She didn't want to live with discrimination and injustice. The girl thanked me for giving her a new life, but she always looked pessimistic because of her society. Once I found a letter written by her. It was on her table, and I was the addressee therein. Your rescue had my yearning once again revived. A lake was assiduously made, but no water to submerge. At the congested door, there stood sets of opportunities, unclothed but not ashamed with the vital qualities. I wish I were able to stop my budding age, barking at my shadow. Dreams were made exclusive of its enchanting wings. It became like a tortoise relying on the crane's wings. Her disappearance there, I reckoned, was something of concern, and I had to find her whereabouts. So I tried to see every room there. Finally, I caught her by one of her arms when she was about to jump off of the roof. I pulled her first, then I started to convince her. Accomplishment comes in those who align all these. Light a fire astutely, then to curse at the mist. Let your life be crimsoned in the joyous times, away from the range of millions of the chains. You have the merit of living, exclusive of the green leaves, no flowers dance. Trouble-free life for those you are not giving. Your own caretaker scolded you. Never be clean for this. The licensed prostitute he made you. Their force made the law's lip frozen. Your precision turned deaf. The war brow against them of Trojan. Bang the doors of each burrow. Even water can serve her a stone. Abort others from following such a row. If not, ultimately go off yourself. Into ruins of a sort, and such people should turn. Perceive then how their sources help. The officer wrote everything she said. Then 2 officers were ordered to go for further investigation. She looked little relief, being amongst her parents. My heart took her in a lonely and snowy place surrounded by snow-cropped mountains and aimed at telling her something. I love you more than the oceans, more than the angels, and more than myself. If the ocean is dry, am I not cry as much as you say goodbye? If so, I would rather die. If the world is against you, for you will fight. If you're against me, I will lose all my right. Even the sun gives you rain when you feel hot. Even the ocean comes to you when you are in the desert. Why not I? When everything likes you, slightly shy, slightly feared, how beautiful you look. Let my hand be on your hand, and love you as much as I can. Your presence makes me forget day or night. I make thousands of reasons to be at your sight. I give you my piece of bread, even in my hunger. Such love will be even when I will be no longer. For you I can do whatever I can. I never let go of your hand. If one of us has to live, I will die for you. I swear I get a hold of an ocean of pains. Out of your single drop of tear, I want to replace your sorrow with my happiness. I will never have a heart of darkness. Ajran, Ajran, Ajran. They are asking questions to me. I don't know. I was lost on her. One officer was asking me for more information. How did you find her? Why were you there? What's your background? I only explained how I found her. I stated my name on alias because the forest was out of our reach. Most permanently, I was afraid of losing her after she knew my inside story. Our relationship would undergo crisis if otherwise. Preserving immunity and considered apt. Interpreting me furiously, they asked her to unhold the story, and she further said, as I was going to the police station to file a case about the rocket, a van suddenly stopped in front of me, and some masked men forcibly took me inside. One covered my mouth, and the other held me gripped by my limbs. The leader searched my bag but found no documents. The documents were with the victim whom I had called to be at the police station. They snatched my cell phone as well, and he reprimanded, pulling my hair. Where's the disc? Where's our video? We will kill that girl too. Tell me all. As the van stopped in the dense forest, they took me out. The leader came in front and warned me. How dare you file a case against us? I will do exactly what I am supposed to do. I will not spare you as well. Let the system go on as it is. Nobody can think of breaking it. Boys, push her off the cliff. She will die herself, or the tigers will eat her. I was taken to the cliff forcefully and pushed. She wept and said, I can't remember what happened after, then except a glimpse of Ron's acquaintance when he came to rescue me. I explained how I rescued her. Our reports and the phone picked in between led to one of the convicts being arrested. He was backed by political power, master of eschewing morals. He laughed and said to the police officers, I am only a small medium to get their work done. Behind the scenes there are such powerful people, even you can't dare to imagine of. After several days of torture in the custody, he was reported to have revealed some secrets that have made their system keep quiet. Cruelly, the injustice prevailed so deep, but Sangita determined to keep it as her major battle. She was not a bit scared to reveal the truth. The culprit explained how he abducted the girl, rescued by Sangita, and sold her to the town. First we find girls in sanctuaries and use them, and with the great penchant in the name of marriage. We give them our lust and make them available to the public waiting. And about that girl, he laughed without any regrets and explained. Too late to be physically possessive. Inside someone, she had fallen deep. The seed had already grown into the mud. For her, my heart sprung. My joyful soul shed a few tears. No other prosperities be used to elevate So I blew my horn. I made her see the golden world of my kind. Her suffering became my way in, by which means I quenched my thirst. My soul got married to her, though her first page I couldn't read. This incident melted by bale, in a sense, the perspective of my beloved and uproot evil deeds from the society made a house in my heart, which gave birth to such wow elements within me. What an inspiration she could cast on me with her working guts and pavilions. Till the last day, I was hopelessly leading my life, but her arrival made me not only live for myself, but also for others. In a sense, I was revived. Once I was going past the temple. There, I saw a man nearby, being beaten by some villagers. It was all an inhumane affairs, and against social norms. When I knew the man's truth, spoke to all the attenders about the man, who was otherwise called to be someone like scavenger or even pra. Please, listen to me. I want to say something about this man. Who built the temple? Of course this man did. And why don't you allow him to visit the shrine now? He thinks that he has left his wedding ring by mistake while working inside, and he forgot to get it back when over. He knows for sure where the ring is. Let him go inside. When they turned their ears deaf, even after my earnest request, I sang a song in order to convince them. He knelt before the eyes of the shrine that laid a breath away. But he couldn't seldom go up to the premises. Being an outcast, it seemed to be cursed, forbidden in the scared places with rising angst. One day it would explode. And why should he now build the so-called divine objects, for which he took 100 takes? Always inside he had been to when construction was on. Inside he was pleased to go. Even the birds fly in and out. The insects cherish inside. With the vigor of silicone, he might come out. The norms one day he might smoother. Why such unnatural blows? That makes a difference one from the other. He had lost his wedding ring inside the temple during this construction, and he is allowed at this time. You, uncivilized Aslam, you are out of your camp and teaching us about right and wrong? One of the Chivist villagers on Greybeard warned me. Others of the attendants around there surrounded me and started misbehaving with me either. Patience? Nobody was moved by my plea. All of a sudden, the arrival of my beloved made the scene definitely calm. They might have known who she was, so they strolled away. A few of other beggars were begging inside the temple. One was suffering seriously, and I yelled at the crowd, although they were already standing like my opponents. Look at him. He is dying every second. I went closer to the man where they were afraid to go and said, Look at him. Look at him how he is suffering here. Nobody wants to help him. God is suffering being poor and needy so that we can live without suffering. He is the real God. Why don't you understand? There was pin-drop silence. My beloved came and touched my shoulder with the pats of encouragement. Her touch let a set lyrical verse loose in front of all people there or so. My sight was caught by a stranger, unlike many pilgrims on the scene rare. Dire strings are his friends, and soggy street his bed, to the shrine. Casting their mouths, all eyes pass him, since he was stinking. He was hurled out of the gate. There are many like him who have come and take away our pain. Human can cure the ache, but the God can confiscate it. Men bail up mistakes, but he forgives them. He was striving, but they, to the idol, trying to feed. All people looked quite convinced, because their heads were not up. Eventually, they joined their hands with us for the mission to fill the differences. They all clapped and started helping the beggars with all the means they could spare. After being clear what exactly happened there, she looked at me as if she wanted the same air. I breathed out. She hugged and thanked me for having the same spirit like hers. But her hug grew love in my heart, and my spirit danced in the air. Also light-heartedly, she asked me to sit on her scooty and took me away. We went on, though, many natural, beautiful things. Even in my pain, my soul danced in the air with her soul, singing around the aesthetic sensibilities. Your love I feel you in my soul. Your love I teach in my heart. For a reason I know all about this. You are my part. Even a rose of bed joins my heart. Please don't go away, keeping me apart. I love you always, not the less. You are so simply best. I do respect you, please trust me, I swear. You are none other than my essential pair. I give you always my million hearts. Don't be apart. She stopped her scooty. After shattering my dream nearby a restaurant, she told me to follow her inside. I followed her to the personal cabin, something unthinkable. I was early to tame thoughts otherwise, though. She took out the aid box and put off my shirt. What she executed was healing the pain. All so pleasant. The ladder of my pain was disappeared. I hugged her. My heart smiled openly. All my senses refreshed. I saw her sometime on earth, for some time on the moon. Often within my heart, around me in the rain, asking to be wet. In the dress I wear, she peeped out all the pockets. Let the nature take me back, where everybody begins to live, so as to grow up together with her. She came in my life like a spring, only contentment she could bring. I liked her in my earliest sight. Without her, even the day is night. After years, my heart woke for love. Even after 100 years, we will be up. Every moment I spent with her was heavenly. From tears to happiness, all were flowery. My tears made her clothes wet. I may get rid of such a fate. Having felt her, the heaven I saw, in my all lives I wanted to be under her law. When heavenly united our lips, our souls remained asleep. Those moments were enlightened. My delight to be in the area of God heightened. It was all like the world has come to a stop. Hello, the voice of the writer brought back with a jerk on my body. She might have felt something in the strange activities. Nevertheless, I acted as if nothing happened to me. Some say people can never hide the marks of feelings on their consciousness. But I could. I was able to hide the power of love from my complexion. She also acted normal. She ordered fried momo and Katie roll I was eating for the first time. I wished I could steal her and hide inside my heart. Her services had decorous affairs accomplished by intellectual conversation. Only she was the meaning of my living, it seemed. My heart was filled with hope to live. At the very moment, something went into my eyes, and I felt irritated. Before I slid away, She stretched her smooth hands into my laces again, and that grew love above pain. I was again lost looking into her eyes. I see my soul whether you exist or not. See my heart, my eyes? No place in my body you see without you. My being is in your being, on your grooves. My life smiles back at me. Love you, miss you always, and will be. You have such a power to rule my heart. It is coupled with that of yours. Love you even after my bereavement. To love you, I will always be a man for you. My heart keeps beating. If I hadn't met you, I mightn't live further. Now being your part, I want to live more. Her touch of my hair made me cautious. Where are you lost? Anything wrong? All the items were on the table without saying anything, but with a shy look. I started eating. I want to give you a lift up to your house because you don't have sound health today. Keeping some Kathy in her mouth, she said. Thanks for being so nice to me, but I managed to go myself. I am all right. Ron, do you know a woman has 2 lives to spend? Now that's my time to spend my second part of my life. Nobody dares to beg my hand. Maybe they are afraid of what I do. Nevertheless, we are so lucky. But you have only one side of your life, she added, touching my hand. Might be she was trying to make the situation normal. Yes, it's the law of nature that you have to spend 2 sides of your life. Your own home and husband's home, I added. We kept talking until the bar closed. Many hours just went unnoticed. Something was like everything. We came out. She started her scooty, and she made me go with her. We went on, and she went on saying about 2 sides of her life that brought the queerer earlier. Uncivilized man again. He spoiled all the foods. He degraded us from the front of our guests. But she was at their cross purpose with her parents. Voice so confirmed. She dared to utter, he saved my life. He is a good man, and we have some things in common, mostly in terms of social interrogation and discrimination. I couldn't feel easy in stepping back, as I had spoiled the bathroom earlier. I tiptoed out to make a run, till I stopped in my trench hut. I went inside and threw myself upon the bed, a sigh of relief of a type. I slept on my bamboo bed that carried my reality. I tried to console my heart, but I was making a bridge for the flying. My heart kept growing longer for her. I said to myself, why was she against her parents for me? A play of mind gave a start to a feeling so sweet. My heart took away my soul, and her soul was pulled inside my hut, and they started dancing. My soul was convincing her soul. You live in the castle, I live in the torched hut. I cannot be there. You don't come here. Heart-wise, I am rich. Love-wise, I am rich. Nobody cares. Such. Everyone's after much. My heart begs for you. How long up? I see you. Can't you come down once? Then we will have a dance. Amorous love so much. Many a kind of glee be such. You wrap my heart and soul. I can amuse you in any role. That is only you who pawns with my heart. Pause. That can't now live being apart. I perceive you even when I close my eyes. In the profound ocean your love lies. I battle even in God's fingers. You dead or alive. For eternity I miss you. Living together is also okay. Dying together is also okay. You have named this verse in your name, to be yours, beloved, from the distance I came. My heart beats in chanting your name. My life without you is rather lame. I accept your death with delight. Without you I distinguish barely night. My love I always true and will be. My faith is God, and you are the key. I sometimes have pain and nauseance. My heart cries in your absence. Without you I mark no hope ahead. Such love I have never met. When I start missing you, my heart I want to hew, so that all pains go away. Your absence darkens my day. How can I say I'm a refugee and having this miserable life? I thought. As I was starting to sleep, after convincing my heart, I heard a woman next to my hut. She was crying bitterly. She was Rupa, my childhood friend. I heard everything, the dialogues on delivery. Her parents were telling her to go back to her husband's house, which she didn't want. She alleged that she was sexually, physically, and emotionally assaulted there. Many such ladies from camps were discriminated in their husbands' homes. The reason was simple. They were refugees, and they had nothing to offer them but dowry. A majority of them returned to the camps with further suffering. My pain aside, I went there to make her parents aware of the facts. No sooner had I entered there than she hugged me and cried. I recalled her days. 100 months went by since she had last dropped in here. A pile of feelings to share. Compelled by the situation, she said she was losing the ration. Everything aside friendship was the most. Ups and downs are the places, for all the misery in the gloomy faces. For those away from the material ray, such attention nobody could pay. To please her I tried many ways, thus she hadn't spent there many pathetic days. They pulled her and requested me to leave. Her mother said, they will kill us if we don't send her there. I don't care what they do with her. That is her house. She must go there. We also had hard times in her age. Every woman has to go through this story. First, I just told her mother to stay calm. Then I started with my words for secure innocence. After the castle whole day she was. At dawn she milked the cows, fed the oxen. She did. Other side of her life. Away from the land she grew, wearing the fume of the darling musk. After comporting others in the dusk or else, articulating her honeymoon, she went to sleep. Unlike her maid, one way aggravating her life was being used to ways. The second circle of her life, she longed to boycott. That forbid her to practice freedom. So why she ran away from a man-made tradition, might be, towards a small room of living but her own. Fire! Please help! People are screaming. We all ran towards the fire, our unit to come under its impression. Our huts were made of bamboos and straw. Fire on the huts was not new. We all ran towards the fire site, but when we reached there, it was just a few huts away from my hut. Quickly, I took a U-turn to get my important belongings. But it was too late. I hardly took some. About 100 huts caught fire, and my shelter remained with no exception either. I came to the street awaiting for help. Appearance of a vehicle pulled my sight all of a sudden. Sangrita was seen present there. She was there to dispute something for survival kinds, similar to what the UNHCR had supplied beforehand. I thought of trying something mysterious, also abruptly. I dabbed my face with mud so that she didn't trace me out. I saw our activities remaining behind the mud. We were giving something to eat and others of the needs. As the mission was over, she drove away waving. The girl's presence enwrapped me so deep. I was speechless as long as she was there. When she went away, I just lost in my daydream saying something to her. You filled my heart with hope and hope to live. Find the one who loves you like I can. You are only the one that heals my pain. How my life goes ahead without you. You helped me whenever I am in trouble. Before God, I take your name. All look alike before you, rich or poor. Before you, I always make my head lower. My heart sets nowhere in your absence. My heart encores my every movement. How can I be happy without you? I have decided to live with you. Later that day, with some provisions made available, I slept in a school. I kissed all the things she had given to me. My mind got my heart, always connected to her. My heart was killing all my parts. Without her, what did I live for? God is independent of both, without the body and the mind. My mind I always lost, since it always bound my heart. Let another life suffer in my place, since millions of souls looking for life with godly trait. I wanted to be blessed. Without the mind of the body, I longed to hike. I started thinking, I may live for some time without water and air, but I can't live without you. What a coincidence. I heard the same song on the radio next door. It stayed connected to my heart. What is there in you? The air I breathe in, or the water I drink? Why without my life is impossible? In your absence, I am just futile. My delight becomes fake. Fortune to the floor is gloomy. Not acquainted where to set out. Habitated in our company more than a pal. I crave the subsist. In your crasium, my spirit is. Draw closer and thrill my empathy. My living is being much better. Might be. It was your warm hug. Now I am drunk in happiness, 'cause my stars came down on the earth. You gave me joy, and that's on my lips. The relatives in my eyes. What a love it shows me through heaven. Imagination for the sake of lifetime. Such a pain, no doctors can heal it, except you. I can break all the relations, but none of yours. You are the half story of my life. Even if the whole world is against you, I swear I will never leave your hand. My heart wants only you. Nothing else like flowers, moons, or stars. I couldn't sleep, nor could I control my emotions. I searched her in my belongings, and I searched you in your belongings here and there, and a litter of tears came. Please come back. My heart is with you. So are my desires. My soul is with you. So are my spirits. It matters not day or night. Everything is black. Up in the sky I see many stars, 2 twinkling brightly. Might be we were those 2, since our immoral past lives. You're the only person who can heal my emotions, heal my sickness, heal my feelings. People even sleep with others to get rid of all of those. How foolish of them to do all these in the absence of their own beloved. When our hearts are united, or 2 bodies become one, then all our senses are connected, making us reach in the heaven. Driven in despair, I went out at midnight. There I saw the stars to console my heart right. It was 1 o'clock over the clock drawn, which marked my birthday began. My parents might be there looking at me, wishing happy birthday to me. I looked up and replied. My soul I couldn't hide. For the opinionated and nothing other, everything seemed bona fide.
In each anniversary, my existence becomes 1 year less, diminishing the altar of my face. Life and endowments do furnish meaning to live, and the journey I always like to be in love depth. Death I often opt to love, forever my such days be off. That I was fed up with the insanity, giving a turmoil of humanity, corporation of sadism, evils in number of despotism, hands healing off the sweat, chirping bull ball, injustice embedded ruled. Shamyak wisdom I gained gives me power to hold. This makes my life marvelous to behold.